I am Holly, and I'm going to talk about how to progress your surfing. So let's say that you have been surfing a little bit, you've got the pop-up down, you can ride in whitewash, you can go down the line on a green wave, and you're wondering what comes next. So the next thing is going to be turning. And it's something that you can start practicing in the whitewash. So if you're still in the whitewash and you're dreaming of getting onto the green wave, you can practice this too. But the idea is that once you've been able to go down the line on a green wave, you want to start to do turns. So the next step to learn in your surfing is how to do the cutback. And here are a couple of videos of what the cutback will look like eventually when you've gotten to that point. But right now, you're just wanting to start out how to turn back towards the whitewash. So the cutback is a maneuver that is used when you want to keep going and ride the wave longer. If you have the privilege to be surfing a super long point break where you can just set your inside rail and ride down the line in one direction, that's amazing. But most of the time, what you're going to end up needing to do in order to keep riding a wave longer is to cut back to the power source. So the whitewash is the power source of the wave. It's like right where the whitewash and the green wave meet. As you progress in surfing, the goal is going to be to constantly come back to this power source, the place where the white water meets the green wave. This is the engine of the wave. This is where you're going to get the most speed. So whether you're surfing a super hollow wave on a shorter board or a really soft wave on a longer board, the further you get away from that power source, the slower you're going to go. So for the most part, of course, every wave is different. For the most part, at some point, you're going to have to learn how to come back to the power source. So the way to do that is the cutback. So here I am on a 9.6 longboard, and when you're surfing, you want to have your feet more or less in line with the stringer, right? You want to have the stringer, the wooden center line of the board going right down underneath the arches of your feet. This is a nice, comfortable surfing stance. Your back foot is at a 90-degree angle to the stringer. Your front foot is a little bit rotated at a 45. This helps you be able to open up your shoulders and look down the line in the direction that you're going. And the way that you're going to control your surfboard is by putting some pressure on your toes and putting some pressure on your heels and shifting your weight to the back foot, shifting your weight to the front foot. So again, the way that you control your surfboard is through your lower body, through your hips into your legs. The front foot is the gas, the back foot is the brakes. You can start practicing this in the whitewash if you want to get a feel for how to turn your board. I always think it's a good idea when you're learning to surf to spend some time riding the whitewash on your belly and noticing that if you lean on this side, the board's going to go this way. And if you lean on this side, the board's going to go this way. Now, if you lean too much, you're going to dig the rail in and slow down or get knocked off, right? So it's coming up with how much lean is going to be effective in turning the board. And a lot of times it's subtle. The bigger the board, the more you're going to have to lean, but it's really not like all the way over here. It's just a little bit of a lean, a little bit of a lean. So now you're standing up and riding the wave. So the same thing applies. If you want to turn, it's really subtle. So if you're a snowboarder or participate in other sports like that, maybe wakeboarding, a lot of turning happens with your edge. So people will go onto their toe edge and it's like a really, aggressive toe edge or a really aggressive heel edge. In surfing, it's more subtle. And oftentimes it's a little bit more on the back foot than the front foot. But sometimes telling a beginner surfer to just put weight on their toes means they just fall over, or weight on their heels, they fall backwards. So at Surf With Amigos, we like to say turn with your boobs because number one, it's kind of funny. And number two, it's really about looking where you want to go and rotating your upper body. So if you feel like doing this, stand up real quick. Stand up and get into your surf stance. So imagine you're going down the line and you want to turn this way. Notice what happens to your lower body when you rotate your upper body. You're going to notice that your weight is going to shift back to your heels a little bit if you're turning towards your heels, and your hips are also going to rotate, right? And the same thing if you're going to, let's say now, okay, you're going straight down the line and you want to turn back to the whitewash going this way. Now you're going to turn your chest. Now it's going to also pull your hips, and naturally your weight is going to go back to your toes a little bit. So we like to tell people when they're starting to do turns, because it is so subtle, to just start by looking with your head the direction you want to go, and then rotate your chest or your boob. Rotate your boobs the way you want to go. Shine your headlights on the path ahead, and that's going to subtly shift your weight. And then the key is you want to hold it. So it's slow. There's like a little bit of a delay. And so if you've got a big longboard and you're just working on doing this for the first time, look where you want to go. Look back at the wave. Where is the whitewater? Is it way back over there? Then you really want to hold it and keep looking until you get back towards it. And then once you get close to it, then the reverse. Go back that way. First time you do it, you go this way, you might get taken out by the whitewash. That's okay, it's part of the learning experience. You'll start to learn at what point as you get closer to the whitewater do you need to start initiating the turn to go the other way. But one thing I see that people do a lot is they go, okay, I looked, and then they come off of it. And then I looked, and then they come off of it. So the board starts to turn, and then it goes back straight. So if you're gonna go for it, and commit to it, and wait for it, and the board will start turning. It's sometimes the case that just using your boobs isn't enough. Sometimes people can be really toe heavy or really heel heavy, and even though their upper body is doing the thing, they're still putting too much weight on the other side and the board doesn't go. So that's why I feel like it's important to realize that eventually, really, it's starting from your lower body. Your upper body makes the difference, but it's your lower body that's really doing the turn. So if you're looking and you're not going, then think, okay, I must not be getting my weight into my, we'll say heels in this direction, my heels. So a little bit of pressure on your heel edge will help. The other thing that will help is staying low, especially if you're turning towards your heel edge. If your legs are straight and you go to twist, you're gonna fall over. Same thing can happen front side, but I feel like it's more likely that you're gonna fall over when you're going to your heel edge. So keeping your knees bent and your weight centered in a nice, like, stable stance. You wanna be in the position that if I was gonna get a running start down the beach and come and try and push you off, that you'd be able to hold me off, right? So nice and loose and balanced. Your weight over both feet. Rotate your upper body. Notice the sensation of how it pulls your hips to start going, and hold it. If you want to use the arms, you can. The thing you don't want to do is have the arm in front of you. Sometimes I see this where people are looking, but their arm is still here. That's why we say turn with your boobs. You want to make sure that your shoulders are rotated. As you get close to the whitewash, then turn back and go the other way. It's not about the arms. I think especially as people progress in surfing, you'll hear coaches say like, oh, throw your arms. Surfing doesn't happen from your arms. It happens from your hips. And so throwing the arm will help, but not as much as rotating this way and a little bit of weight on that back heel, or if you're going that way, a little bit of weight on your back toe. And then play with it. And the time that you want to do this, when you want to do this, is if you're looking at the wave ahead of you. I'm riding down the wave here, and I start to notice that there's not much wall in front of me. It's like kind of flattening out, I'm losing speed, and you look back, and the whitewash is way back there. Okay, I'm gonna go back towards the whitewash. And when you're just starting out, maybe you don't even want to aim all the way back towards the whitewash. Maybe you just want to go back towards the beach a little bit and let the whitewash catch up to you. That's fine. The more you practice it, the more confident you get in being able to turn your board, the more you're going to be able to go all the way back to the whitewash and then all the way back down the line, and then you will have done a cutback. But just starting out, think about just turning your board, notice the direction you want to turn it. Feel free to go back to laying on your belly and practicing that feeling in the whitewash. Notice how much pressure and how much angle will get your board to turn, and then try it standing up.